today I'm going to be answering one of your questions. I got a question from the Acer002, and I thank you for the nice comment. It says, hi, I love the videos, so thank you for that. I always love hearing that. Never get tired of hearing that. There's two parts to this question. The first one is what to do when a horse continuously tries to graze while being led. And then the second part is also, what do you do when a horse is pushy? For example, pushes the butt towards you or leans on you during grooming. So the first question is actually a very simple fix. So what we naturally want to do when a horse pulls his head down and he's pulling that lead rope out of our hand or the reins is we want to pull him back up. And, most of the time we can get their head back up, but the horse is going to continue doing it because he didn't learn anything, okay? So to discourage a horse from pulling those reins out of your hands or pulling that lead rope out of your hands so he can eat, what you don't want to do is pull on that lead rope. You don't need to pull on that lead rope to get their head back up. To get their head back up, you need to go to the rear end. So even if I'm riding, I'm gonna have that horse disengage his hindquarters and have him move his butt around. So, for example, say Charlie reaches down, he's trying to graze. I'm going to let him commit to that mistake, even though I know he's going to do it and he hasn't made it all the way down there. I'm going to let him commit to that. So as soon as he starts to eat some grass, I am going to go after his hind end. And a lot of times, that's going to pop his head right back up. So you don't have to pull on that head. It'll pop right back up as soon as you start putting pressure back there. Okay, now the second question, this one's going to be a little bit longer because I really want to explain this. I think a lot of people have the wrong idea why horses are pushy or lean on you. So your question, I'm kind of reading between the lines here. I don't know if it's just, that your horse does this just when you're grooming them. So if your horse is just pushing or leaning on you while you're grooming, that could be, and it's common, it could be that the horse is just enjoying himself. It feels good, and it's really common when you're grooming them or, scratching them in their itchy spots. They'll kind of push, lean on you because, they're getting into it. It feels good. But if that's not the case, it's very likely that, the horse is either testing the boundaries or they're establishing dominance. Okay, so I want to explain that a little bit. If you watch horses out in the wild or even out in the pasture, out in the field, because horses are social animals, they have a natural hierarchy. So that means that they have a pecking order. Now, some people don't believe in this, but I do. I believe horses have a hierarchy and there is a pecking order. So, for example, if your horse was out there in that pasture and he went up to another horse and started pushing or leaning or just crowding him out, what do you think that other horse would do? Well, it depends on where that horse is at on the hierarchy, where they are on the pecking order. So if that other horse is lower on the pecking order and more submissive, it's very likely that horse is just going to move off and probably walk away. Now, if that horse is more dominant and he's higher on that pecking order, it's very likely that horse is going to turn around, pin his ears, and probably start biting or kicking. Okay? So with your horse pushing or leaning on you or crowding you, it could be that the horse is just asserting his dominance, and that's how they assert their dominance, is through their body, by pushing on you, by leaning on you. And it's very common with young horses or horses that haven't been properly trained. It also could be that the horse is just testing the boundaries. Horses, they want to know who the leader is. They want to know where they stand in that hierarchy. So if it's not you, and then it's them. They need to know either way which one amongst you two is it them or is it you? And they want to know that. They need to know that. So with your horse pushing and leaning on you, your horse could just be testing that. They're trying to figure out where they stand and where you stand on that pecking order, and to figure out who the leader is. Are they the leader or are you the leader? You see what I'm saying? But you got to go back you got to put a foundation on your horse. You got to go back, do some groundwork, gain that respect. But with a horse that's really pushy, they're usually pushy on the front end, but they can be pushy on the hind end too. They can be pushy with their whole body. So the groundwork exercises that I would be working on is yielding the hindquarters, yield in the forequarters, and a lot of backing. I do a lot of backing with that horse. So this is something else that I recommend. It's very normal for when we groom or saddle or unsaddle or bathe our horses that we work around our horse. So when we want to change sides, we just walk around the horse while the horse is standing here. So to help with, a horse that's pushing or leaning on you or stepping into you while you're grooming them, what I recommend that you do is get the horse to move their feet. Have the horse move their feet more and your feet less. So, for example, I'm sitting here grooming, okay? Now I want to go to the other side. I'm going to have Charlie move it planed in over, and then I'll start grooming this side. And then when I'm ready to change sides, I'm going to put some pressure on his hind end, have him move over. Get in here and groom. So by having your horse move his feet around while you're grooming him, that's going to help with that behavior. That's going to help with that pushiness, that leaning in while you're grooming him.